Well, welcome to Matt's Rocks. Today I'm going to do this Montana agate. Adopt it up. I'm just going to shape it, cut off enough of the sides to get a good enough girdle. Then I'm going to polish the outside, and then I'll see what I got from there as to whether I want to make it a cab. If I can't get enough of the top down to keep from losing my inclusions and stuff in there, my mossy staining and all that kind of stuff, I'll make it a sample, but otherwise I'll turn it into a cab. I may have to cut the bottom off in order to keep from losing that once I get it shaped. I don't want it to be too big and tall if it's going to be a cab, but it wouldn't matter if it's going to be a sample that you just set on your desk. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and we'll go from there. Well, one of my chips came off. I kind of figured I might lose that end, a little bit of that end, because of this fracture. There's still a big chip in it, and then there's another chip over here. But I had this fracture, and this fracture, so there was like 3 fractures here. And then this one came. Off right there. Kind of figured I might lose some of that. So I've been grinding down on it, making it a little shorter. If you notice, it tapers less here than it does here. Or I mean, the girdle's taller here than it is here. It's just chipping out more and more and more on that corner. And that fracture there's chipping. And then this fracture here is chipping out. Hoping I can get to the bottom of the chips, then I can stabilize it. It's time to switch to the 220 grit so I can get the rest of the chips out and not put any more back in. I'll go ahead and bring you back in when I get it shaped, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm back. There's my shape. Got like a little crystal bug right there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'll show it on this other camera here in a second. I do have a chip I'm a little worried about. It's underneath the bottom down here, right there in that corner. But it doesn't go up past the girdle any further than it is there. So I'm going to stabilize it just in case. Plus I've got this little fracture here that's showing off some white at the edges. And I'm going to go ahead and stabilize the whole top. Well, most of the top. Got a couple of little cracks, little fractures here that's chips that I don't think are going to come off, but I haven't been to sleep since I got up. How did I get that sand? And there's a little chip out of it. Let me show it on this other camera real quick. A little chip right there. That's part of that. But it's going to be in the girdle, so it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. But I do want to make sure it's stabilized. There's that chip that I was talking about that didn't go very far. It's that darker edge right there is the back side of it. And that would pop off this way. But it shouldn't affect anything. I will have to polish the back, but I'm going to go ahead and stabilize that section of it also. And then I'm going to stabilize this up in here. And this, the right side up, this little fracture here goes up. There you can see the little white stuff in there. And the druzy pocket is right there beside that black line, that little white section there. And now here it is. Wet down, so that's going to show you what it's going to look like when it's polished. I think that's going to be a nice looking cab. I don't know how much of the time I get done with it, I'm not sure how much of that crystal bug's going to be left, but so I don't know how deep it goes, but I'm not that worried about it. I can take it or leave it. I just as soon it was gone, because then I don't have to worry about the crystals breaking out and scratching the rest of my rock. But that also means it's going to have to wait till tomorrow to finish it up, which isn't that big of a deal. It's only taken me about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to edit the videos. And I only need 2 more videos to get me through Thanksgiving week. And that'll put me through till Wednesday of the week after. Well, actually, I may even have one for Wednesday. I think that's the case. No, I will need a third one so I've got to do 2 others besides this one, these 2. So I'm going to go ahead and do this piece of Brazilian agate while this one's curing. So I'm going to do what I can on this. I may be able to get it finished. I don't know. Depends on what it looks like. I got all this nasty stuff here that's I got to get off. That's on top of that's quartz crystals, smoky quartz crystals on top of the agate, more than likely, or just host rock remnants. But I know I'm gonna lose a lot of this around here, so that's gonna have to come off pretty quick already. Anyway, you can see the lighter stuff up here. It's real thin all around here, but I didn't expect it to be much bigger than that anyway. So, but I'll be back when it's on this one, on this one, when it's cured, and then start on the 220 with it, or 280 with it. Okay, I'm back. I got it all glued up. I went on ahead and used the accelerator on it. I quit looking over your glasses. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on it. And that way I don't have to waste the day, the rest of the day. I can get this one finished. And I think I'll reapply a second coat on this one. Even though I'm not on that part of the video. I'll have to remember to cut this out and move it to the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm still using my new 280 grit wheel. It looks, I'm hoping I'm able to get them out, get the scratches out with this, but I got to kind of cross over the opposite direction of the way I run it the first time, just to lightly to get the rest of the, to kind of knock the scratches down a little bit before I get to the next section, or before I go to the next wheel. Nope, I guess I ought to put my top on my glue. I'm losing my little quartz pocket. It's right above that black, or yeah, right above the black inclusion. It's also part of that little yellow line that's above it. It was kind of in between the two, but it was at the end of that fracture, which is the yellow line that's been healed. But it had a little gap there where it was allowed, where the crystal was able to grow. There's only one little pit right there right now. The rest of it's pretty much gone. Hey, we're going to go to the 600 grit now. Okay, let's do this again with the cameras on record. I was just getting ready to take this back to the, or take this to the 1200 grit. And decided I'd better wait. When I looked up and this camera shut off, the one that zoomed in, it shut off because I hadn't hit record yet and it timed out. That's what let me know that I didn't have it recording. Here's my shape, and this is after the 600 grit. Getting ready to take it to the 1200. But I like this stone. It's going to be pretty. This side here, you can see in that fracture goes clear back in to where that line's at. So that's how deep it goes in there. But you can still see the surface of the fracture where the staining went. Every place there's a fracture like that, and the staining goes a long ways, and it's flat against the stone. You can see it. Let me show it on this other camera, where you can see it a little easier. And I've still got the chip down here, running across through there. And you can see it here on the back. I wasn't able to cut it off. I didn't want to cut it off. Oh, focus. There it is. You can see the line, that dark line there. It's not a very big chip, and it's going to be inside the frame unless somebody wire ties it. But it's been stabilized. So and actually it's not showing a gap on this upper section of it. Right in there. There's no gap in there, even after I've polished it, and there's no glue. So I think it was pretty much healed. There's a little bit of glue, but not much. And I guess it's this front side that I was talking about. That front side where you can see that lighter color there. That's the edge of the fracture, but there's no space there. There's a couple of little pits on this face, so there was a little bit of a gap there, but it's not much. And actually, it's just a little, probably part of the color from the staining is what it is. It's not actually a pit. You can see a little bit of the fracture right there where the two pits are at, but I think that's just the, I think that's kind of a druzy type staining. So it's probably got granules in it, and that's why it makes it look like there's a scratch there. Because the granules have got space around them, or not attached to it quite as well. But let's go ahead and get started on this 1200 grit and get this puppy down on this side so I can take it off the dop stick and do the other side. Glad that coffee's almost gone because it's getting a little cooler. Still not too cool to drink though. Okay, that didn't take too long. There's the polish. Pretty darn shiny. Nice looking rock. I like these rocks. I like all rocks. I like making them pretty when they were ugly to begin with. Sort of. Just the outside skin, anyhow. Here it is on the zoomed in camera. in my little quartz pocket there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to. It didn't shine quite as well as the rest of the stone, but I kind of expected that. That usually happens with quartz. Although it's not too bad. I think I'll take this to aluminum oxide just to see if I can make that a little bit less cloudy and keep my fingers off of it. It's not bad. It's not as bad as it was right before I finished it. I didn't look at it after I finished it because I was working on some of the other cloudy spots that were left on there. And so I think I will take this to aluminum oxide before I put it on take the dop stick off and get the glue off the back and polish the back of it up. Well, let's do this on this camera. Give you a little bit of idea what it's going to look like when it's off the dop stick a little bit. Let's see if I can get that a little better. Hard to believe that's a rock. It's just surprising what Mother Nature does. And most people just walk right over them and don't pay no attention. And this one was had enough skin on the outside of it that it was ugly anyway. It was just a yellowish skin, but it was all sandy. It looked almost like sandstone. And a lot of people probably wouldn't even have known it was an agate had they walked over it. So I'll go ahead and take this to aluminum oxide, and then I'll take it off the dop stick, polish the back, and bring you guys back in and show you the finished product. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, I'm back. I got the back of it all polished. That didn't take long at all. A half hour. Right in front of it after of course I showed it to you after the aluminum oxide. Now let me show it to you on this other camera with the light behind it so you can see how beautiful this thing is now that it's letting more light through. And that's why I wanted to just take off the skin and leave it as rounded as I could, because when you flip it over this way, there's not much, all of your darker colors that you can see on the front up in here are muted and foggy looking. So it wouldn't have been a very good stone if I'd have just used the back side and made it a stone or a cab. Okay, that was lint. And my little quartz pocket right there, that little lighter yellow spot. Right in there is still a little bit duller than the rest of it, and you can see the quartz. You can see the outline of the quartz, but you can see the brecciations in the quartz through the outline, or through inside the outline, makes it look like it's scratched, which it might be because it's kicking out. It was even kicking out small pieces of quartz while I was using the aluminum oxide on there, more than likely. But they weren't affecting the outside edges, so I'm thinking it's a little softer. Just because it's brecciated, I think it's already down to micron type size, and it's only scratching itself rather than the agate. So the agate may be a little bit harder than it is. But anyway, that's the video. and I showed me starting the taking the glue off, and I don't know if I'll leave that in or not. I don't know why I'm telling you, because if I don't leave it in, you won't even know I did it. but I've already got 10 clips to go through now, and then this is going to add 2 more because of that. So I may not put that part in and just leave this part in and have it 12 clips instead of 14. So anyway, this one will be out Wednesday, and then this one will be out Friday after Thanksgiving, and today's Thursday, the week before Thanksgiving, and I did I went on ahead and used the quick dry on this too. They're the glue accelerator, just so I could get it done too. I don't know what I'll do for the Sunday after Thanksgiving. I may do one for Sunday after. Well, this one will be out Friday. This one will be out Wednesday. So I need one for Sunday, and then, oh no, I need one for Friday and then Sunday. I don't know. I'll figure it out. So Wednesday, Friday. So Sunday and Wednesday is the 2 I need for the week after, just so that I can hopefully get my Vibrolap. By now that I've got a table to put it on or a barrel to put it on, I can get that set up. I still got to get some plywood and mount it to the top of it so I can take it on and off and make it easier to move around. But anyway, you guys stay tuned for the next one, and thanks for watching, and take care, and have a good one. Bye.